What do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. For the last couple of days, I have been absolutely jamming out to Lorde's new album, Virgin. Oh my God, it's so good. If that album came out in like peak Tumblr era of like 2012 to like 2014, 15, 16, oh, I would have been insufferable. I mean, not that I'm not already insufferable, but had that album existed in like my angsty Tumblr, like cool girl aesthetic era, it'd be over for you bitches. It'd be over for you bitches, okay? Loving that album. It's so good. Also, I know, what is it, David right now is going like super viral on TikTok. Oh, that's going to make me feel something though. I love that song. It is so good. It definitely gives Ribs vibes, if you know the song Ribs from Lorde. It's just one of those songs that makes you feel like you're in a movie and you are the main character and you're having this existential moment and you are in the car on the freeway driving down, you're in the passenger seat and you stick your head out the window and just your hair is flowing and it's dark, and then you drive through a tunnel and like the lights are like flashing and flickering because of the tunnel. Pause this podcast episode, go listen to David, come back to this episode and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It is the most, I don't know how Lorde does it when she writes music and when she produces music, but she makes songs feel so like out of body, very like doing drugs kind of. Not that I would know what that's like, but very just out of body, very like putting you in a situation that you didn't ever think that you could be in. And it just so good. It's just such a cool song. I am somebody that like, obviously I love lyrics. Like you guys know T Swift is my gal. Love Taylor Swift, ride or die for life. She's got music, production, storytelling, authenticity, real life. Love all of that. But sometimes I listen to albums because I like the beat, or I like, you know, that the music sounds like a chorus or a choir or an orchestra, or it sounds very ethereal and it sounds very like almost like a holy religious experience sometimes. You guys know the kind of music I'm talking about, where it's like the production is incredible. And I feel like when I listen to Lorde, lyrics are good. I would not say that they're like, she's like the world's best songwriter, but incredible nonetheless. Like literally could not write music if I tried. So many of her songs, when I listen, I feel like they just take me to a completely different dimension, and they just, it's such music to like lay on your floor, headphones in, stare at the ceiling, and just vibe. Like so good. I'm also incredibly excited for Sabrina Carpenter's album, Man's Best Friend. I think it's going to be so good. I've been absolutely loving Sabrina Carpenter. And you know what? I do not care if people are like, she's so cringy and like mainstream media and like, blah, blah, blah. There is nothing that drives me more crazy than when people are like, oh my God, you listen to Taylor Swift? That's so basic. Oh my God, sue me for liking an artist. Like, I cannot stand a bitch when they're just like, oh my God, you listen to Sabrina Carpenter? She's so basic. Her music is so basic. God forbid somebody has a music taste or an artist that they like. Genuinely, what kind of satisfaction does it bring to a person for them to sit there and be like, you like this artist? Ew, they're so cringy, or ew, they're so basic. How about you just let people like what they like and shut the hell up? I hate that. Do not come up to me and be like, I hate Taylor Swift. She's so basic. Hey, actually, first of all, she's not basic at all. She has like 87 albums and she's done 100 tours, and she just had the biggest grossing world tour ever. Don't say she's basic, first of all. And if you're going to be like, she made songs about breakups, I'll kill you and your entire family. So relax. Second of all, let people like who they like. You actually don't have to comment on somebody's interest or make them feel less than because you like a different artist. Wow, podcast is starting out hot. But when don't I? When am I not coming on here and I have something to rant about, to be honest? I feel like this is going to be another podcast episode where I get like a little bit heated, a little bit hot. Like I'm not angry. I'm not any kind of way. I just feel like I get so passionate about certain topics, and relationships have always been a topic that I feel like I've had so much to say for so long. I just haven't really said anything. I was chronically single for a very, very long time. I saw a lot of shit in other people's relationships. I saw shit growing up. I had friends who went through traumatic breakups and drama, and I've been on the sideline a lot of my life, and I've seen stuff, and I've learned things, and I've heard things, and I have taken notes, and I've done reflecting. And now that I'm in such an incredibly healthy relationship. I have a lot to say, and I feel like I could make so many episodes about relationships specifically. Obviously, I don't want to turn into a relationship podcast because I'm sure a lot of you are single. Maybe some of you are in relationships, but my goal is not to become this editorial type podcast where I only talk about relationships, because I have this experience of, again, situationships, bullshit, whatever, but also being on the sidelines and seeing things that have gone wrong or things that have gone right in other people's relationships. It really just makes me reflect, and it makes me feel some peace of mind with the decisions I've made, with the things I've held out on, with the things that I stood my ground on, and I want to share them with you. So if you're single, something to think about. If you're in a relationship, I still think this is something to think about. If you are in a relationship where things are rocky and you don't know if this person's right for you, if things are going well, I hope this episode gives you a little bit of clarity, and for whatever reason that you need that. Obviously, the little disclaimer, which I don't feel like I need to say, but I'll say anyways, obviously not a relationship expert. Him and I discuss pretty frequently how we feel about each other, the relationship as a whole, where we see ourselves in the future, different things like that. And I am very grateful for where we are. And we've had a lot of really deep discussions and things like that. So I feel very comfortable and confident making this episode. And again, my own personal opinions and experiences. I'm not shaming anyone else's relationship. These are just things that are at the forefront of my mind and I wanted to talk about. But recently in being in this relationship, so it's kind of ironic because a year ago at this time is my boyfriend and I's talkiversary, if you will. If you don't know our story, I have a whole podcast episode about it. We basically met in the most bizarre, random, unhinged way on Reddit, completely anonymously. We were in a coffee subreddit. Like, it just totally by fate, I'm truly believing at this point, is how we met. It was just comment, algorithm, and yeah, all of that, and taking a chance basically on an anonymous person it wasn't even looking for a date kind of way, like just two humans talking, and here's where we ended up. A year ago in July, so right now, was when we first exchanged words to each other. So we had a cute little date the other night in celebration of our 1-year talkiversary, which I thought was very sweet. He had planned the whole thing. It was a cute little picnic in the park. It just gave me butterflies in the best way, like just so sweet, so wholesome, very thoughtful, which is all of the things that my boyfriend is and so much more. And I'm so grateful for that. And where was I going with that? I feel like now I'm just bragging about it. I don't know where I was going with that, other than it's like our little 1-year talkiversary. I guess I'll say this, like, we have not been dating officially a year. We have talked for a year. We now live together. Like, we've definitely moved fairly quickly, even though my hot take now that I'm in a relationship is there's really no timeline. Like, just do what feels right. But as I've now been in this relationship and I've reflected, and there's been time to really embrace it and genuinely soak in what it means to be in a healthy, communicative, good relationship, I feel good talking about the things I want to talk about. And as I mentioned, I've been chronically single. Like, I've seen things that I didn't want to see. I've been in experience, like situations that really just, left a bad taste in my mouth. And I have held standards for myself and been the picky friend for a good reason. And again, I don't think it's even being picky. I think it's having standards that you don't want to put yourself in a situation that makes you any less than, and you don't settle for something that flat out just sucks. And some of those things that I want to talk about is relationship non-negotiables. So with all of that being said, I would like to discuss some of my relationship non-negotiables. And I just want to give a little bit of hope and a little bit of advice for anyone that needs it, to either, again, remind them that you don't have to settle. You don't have to lower your standards. You are worthy of so much in a relationship. You are deserving of somebody who loves you and cares about you. And you don't have to actually be with someone who doesn't fulfill you and make you happy. Okay. And again, if you're single hearing this, if you're in a relationship, whatever, like, I think this is still pertinent information. But for me, something that is so important, and I talked about this in the last episode, is communication. If you missed that, go listen to the last episode. I popped off on how I think communication is so incredibly crucial for any area of life, but especially in a relationship, platonic or romantic. anything, any kind of relationship, but especially a romantic relationship, because now in a romantic relationship, your feelings are on the line, your heart is on the line, you're involved romantically, maybe sexually, maybe you are living together, maybe you're long distance, like whatever it is, there is a very, very big emotional connection, and communication is going to be the absolute key. For me, a relationship non-negotiable is you have to be good at communicating. First of all, you're an adult. And I feel like I say that in every episode, but it's time, people. Like if you have a credit score and you pay taxes, you need to be good at communicating. It is like so not cute to be like, oh, I'm a bad texter. I'm like, it's 2025. Every one of y'all have your phone in your hand or on your person 24/7. I don't want to hear it. Let me see your screen time. It drives me crazy. I get it. I ghost a lot on text and I like forget to text people back, but I usually respond at some point and be like, hey, I was busy, whatever, or I needed like a break from my phone. But people that are dry over text or dry in person, grow up. I know y'all know how to text or send a damn voice memo. Like it irks me so bad. It really, really does. I will probably make 500 more episodes about communication because it just pisses me off. So many relationships fail because of a lack of communication, and I stand on that. And a relationship non-negotiable for me is you have to be good at communicating. I don't care. And for my boyfriend and I, it started virtually on Reddit by accident, and then we moved into texting, and then we were long distance. So quite literally, there was nothing but communication that mattered because we were long distance and we were not seeing each other other than once every other month or so. So I had no choice but to be a good communicator. He had no choice but to communicate well with me. And here's the thing. I know y'all can read. If I send you a paragraph, I need you to address what's in the paragraph. Don't just send me a okay or a yeah. There were 3 questions and a statement in the paragraph I sent you. I'm going to need you to read it and respond to all of it. Like, don't piss me off. Oh, all right. Episode's getting fiery. Who would have guessed? Relationship non-negotiable. Communication. Grow up. Communicate. And here's the thing. Communication is going to go so much further because guess what? You're probably going to have sex with that person. Guess what? You're probably going to be intimate with that person to some capacity. Guess what? That person's probably going to be very, very involved and very detailed within your life to some capacity, no matter how long it is that you date. They're going to get to know your family or your friends or your life or your situation or your childhood trauma. You need to talk about that stuff. If you have a weird thing with physical touch, like you need to tell them that. If you have, a weird fear or like these are things you need to talk about, but also you need to communicate and tell them like, hey, these are things that I like and these are things that I don't like. And these are things that make me feel good and these are things that make me feel bad. And this is how I feel about this situation. And this is how I felt in this scenario. Like you have to communicate. That's all I'll say on that because I have a whole other episode about it. Just talked about it, but communication, non-negotiable. Hey, if you suck at talking, I'm literally like not entertaining it. And I get it. If y'all are on Hinge, Tinder, whatever, and you're talking to these people and they give the most dry ass responses, ghost them, genuinely. If they suck, they're going to continue to suck. Like, promise. And I hate when people are like, well, like, it's just, I'm bad over the app. Okay, well, then don't be bad over the app. You're literally talking on a social media dating app. You have no choice but to attempt to be good and give a good first impression on an app. Like, what do you mean you're bad at text? Like, what do you mean you're bad at texting? You have no choice but to give a first impression via text. Okay, then don't go on a social media app. Okay, then don't go on a social dating app. Like, don't piss me off. Like, that's crazy to be like sending 1-word answers and 1-word thoughts on Hinge. Hello, you were selling yourself. You were trying to make a good impression and be like, hey, date me. Like, oh, that makes me. Moving on. Another relationship non-negotiable, similar to communication, is emotional maturity. Hey, so guess what we're not going to do at the ripe age of almost 30 and in your 30s and your late 20s. We're not going to have this emotional ability and we're not going to be emotionally immature and we're going to consistently think that, hey, they're cheating on me, or we're going to be so emotionally unavailable that we do not know how to actually make sense of our feelings, and we're going to trauma dump on somebody else, or we're going to love bomb, or we are going to just be so emotionally unaware of our surroundings that we're just going to make the relationship miserable. We're not going to do that. Emotional intelligence is key. People. Okay, you do not need to be dating someone who's still stuck in high school when you're 30 years old. Okay, if they are obsessed with the wrong things, if they have their priorities in the wrong place, if they are obsessed with their Snapchat score, be for real. If they are constantly accusing you of cheating, if they don't like it if they get insecure when you even look in the direction of another human being, girl, guy, or whoever, bye. I don't need that. There needs to be a level of emotional maturity, because the other thing is you need to be able to balance your emotions, and that can be hard. I think therapy has largely helped me with that, but I want to be able to communicate and exist with you when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling anxious, when you're angry. But I want you to be able to communicate those feelings to me and not just, be stuck in this one position. When you're angry, you shut down. When you're upset, you shut down. When you're feeling jealous, you shut down. And you're damn well not going to scream at me either. You're not going to take those emotions out on me because of something that you can't handle in your own brain. That emotional immaturity is not going to affect me in that way. If you are stuck in a 16-year-old brain at 30 years old, you need to get your life situated, because we are not doing that. It's not your responsibility as the other person in the relationship to babysit that intention. If you have a significant other who is emotionally immature or just not present, they don't know how to handle their emotions, you either need to sign up for therapy or move on, because that shit will exhaust you and it will be so uncomfortable to have to deal with day after day after day. And it is exhausting because those types of people are often manipulative. They are gaslighters. They're narcissistic. It is exhausting, and you do not have to put up with that. So for me, a relationship non-negotiable is just having some sense of emotional maturity, without a doubt. The other thing I actually want to say about emotional maturity, because it just made me think of this, is likely the person that you'll date, whether this be long-term or you get married or whatever the scenario is, they're going to be your partner in situations where things get hard, when life gets hard, when you get sick, if they get sick, if you have a situation where one of your loved ones passes away, if something happens, how is your partner going to react to these situations? Are they going to be there for you? Are they going to freak out when things get hard? Are they going to crack under pressure? Are they going to just shut down and just completely be absent from your life because they don't know how to handle that? That's not something that you want in a partner. You need someone that's going to be there for you, and they're going to do their absolute best to support you. Your partner does not have to become your therapist. They don't have to have a perfect answer and a perfect response to every difficult situation, but they need to be there for you. They need to be on your team and helping you out. I have obviously been through one of the worst things ever of losing a parent at such a young age. Now, I was not dating Chris at the time that I lost my mom, but I started dating Chris in the same year that I lost my mom. And I have had multiple breakdowns in front of him, multiple. I'll be having the best day ever, and I think of my mom and I just start bawling, and he's there for me. And that is bare minimum, but it's also I'm grateful that he knows how to connect with me in those moments. He knows how to respond when I'm feeling emotional. He knows what to say or what not to say when I'm having a moment, when I'm having a day. That is something that you absolutely need. And it's so foundational, I think, in a relationship, because in that moment, I need his support. I don't need him to freak out or to tell me to get over it or to just move on or stop being dramatic. I need support, and I need to have someone there for me, and I just need his presence. And he does that so incredibly well, and I'm so grateful. So coming back to emotional intelligence for a second, imagining the person that you're with being present for the potential of one of your parents dying, or the birth of a child, or a huge milestone achievement in your life, or a huge lifestyle change, or a new job, or a huge win, or buying a house. If you can't picture the person that you're with in those situations because they lack emotional maturity, I think that's something to think about. If you cannot imagine the person you're with being in the room when you're giving birth to a child, or being there for you if you get the news that one of your parents or one of your family members passed away, because you think that they'll overreact or they'll shut down or they'll, make it all about them somehow, that's a red flag. And again, coming back to why I think emotional maturity is so important, because that is what a relationship is being there for each other and accepting the fact that life is hard and life sucks a lot of the times. But it's how do you make it okay together? How are you going to continue pursuing through life and persevering and supporting one another in those hard, difficult, awful times, especially when you need their emotional support? Another relationship non-negotiable for me. I'm so grateful that I have this in my relationship with my boyfriend. But even when I was single, it was always in the back of my mind that I was like, I cannot date somebody that sees things as gender specific roles or that wants a mommy specifically. So by that, I mean, I could never date somebody who'd be like, well, I don't cook because that's a woman's job. I can't vacuum because that's a woman's job. I don't do that because that's a woman's job. That also pisses me off to no end. 2025, gender roles are essentially out the door. Like that, don't piss me off. Don't. Okay? What do you mean doing the dishes is a woman's job? This isn't the 1950s anymore. Hey, sorry, it may have been at one point, but we have revolutionized past that. And that's just a bullshit excuse for you being lazy. And I will not put up with that. And I'm not saying I'm sitting here and making my boyfriend do everything, but we go about a lot of things 50-50, and that's fine. Obviously, there are some tasks that I do better or I prefer, and there are some tasks that my boyfriend does or he prefers or he completes better, and we attach ourselves to those tasks and we get them done. But in no way will he refuse to do the dishes because it's a woman's job. I don't cook dinner every night because it's a woman's job. Like, that is so ass backwards to me, and that makes me so mad. If I hear a couple and the man's like, yeah, I don't cook dinner because it's my wife's job. It's like she's a woman, she cooks. All of that to say, if that works for you in your relationship, if you guys like to split things by gender roles or whatever, that's great. For me, absolutely not. And that was another really big thing in the dating scene. And I'm sure so many people can relate to this, specifically heterosexual relationships. Again, I can only speak from that as a woman dating a man or going on dates with a guy or whatever. Speaking from that perspective, the amount of men on dating apps that want to date their mother or date a mommy. Ew. Oh, so you want me to maintain your schedule, remind you about important things, make appointments for you, clean up after you, do your dishes, do your laundry, make your bed, do this. Okay, so you would like to date your mother because you grew up with your mom doing those things for you? Best believe I'm actually not doing that for you. This is a relationship. We're going to work together. We're going to accomplish things together. We're going to split chores and split tasks as appropriate and just go forth and conquer life together. I cannot stand the weaponized incompetence of, oh yeah, I threw my socks on the floor next to the hamper. My wife will pick them up. That infuriates me. And I see that shit on TikTok and I see that online where they're like, oh, my husband's so silly. He exploded red pasta sauce in the microwave and he didn't wipe it down because he knew I would do it. Oh, so you want to set women back 50 years. Oh, got it. That's insane. And again, this comes back to communication of, hey, you exploded red sauce in the microwave. I'm going to need you to clean that up. You made the mess. You clean it up. You can help your partner. Like, it's contradictory because, like, if my boyfriend spills something, I'm not going to be like, haha, like, you got to clean that up, sucker. Like, I'm going to help him, but I'm not his mother. I'm not anybody's mother. I would not treat you like a child. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm not here to be your task rabbit, basically. Like, if you want someone who's going to make your appointments for you and call and hire a damn secretary. Don't date somebody. That's the fastest way, I think, to fatigue a relationship as well, when you're expecting all of these like chores and these things to be done. And that's exhausting. And then if you had kids on top of that, a mom that's stereotypically getting the kids ready for school and getting the kids ready and the husband's just sipping on his coffee, not doing a damn thing in the morning. Hey, I'm going to need you to help. You are 50% of these children. Your sperm is the reason that these kids are walking around. I'm going to need a little bit of effort. I'm going to need you to do something. Pack the backpacks, make breakfast. I cannot stand that. It just is so wild to me that people don't step up when it matters. And it's like, help each other out. Your plate gets busy. Life gets busy. Sometimes work is heavier than somebody else's. Like, I had to work this past Saturday at my normal job. My boyfriend took care of everything in the house. Like, we always are splitting chores, but Saturday he cleaned the house top to bottom, made dinner, made my life easy. Because that's just what we do. Like, it's not a competition of like who's doing what when. It's like, he knew I had to work a full 10-hour day, mind you. And he took care of things that needed to be taken care of instead of letting the laundry overflow and waiting for me to do it. Because that's just not our style. And I don't put up with that. And I know he wouldn't put up with that either. Relationship not negotiable. Something else that's been so heavy on my mind being in the relationship that I'm in now. And again, here's the thing. This is going to sound like the bar is in hell, bottom tier, like obviously a non-negotiable, but you would be surprised at how it's not a non-negotiable for some people, and some people tolerate it and put up with it. And I have, again, seen it. I've witnessed it. I dealt with it personally. Is just the bare bones of respect. A non-negotiable in a relationship is being respectful of one another. I don't care who you think you are or who raised you or what you think you're doing in this life, but you are absolutely not going to speak to me in any kind of manner that's going to piss me off. You're not going to belittle me. You're not going to talk down to me. You're not going to yell at me. And you're not going to speak to me like I'm an idiot. And you're not going to make me feel less than in any way. You are not superior to me in any way. Here's the thing. We're human beings. I don't care who the hell you are. We are like this at all times. I don't care if you're the president of the world. I don't care if you were the richest celebrity in the world. I will always treat you as an equal. I do not give a shit. There is no such thing for me as VIP treatment. We are two human beings on a floating rock in outer space. You're getting the same damn treatment I would give to anybody. No one is above me. Sorry. No one's above me. No one's below me either. We're all right here. I will treat a janitor and a CEO the exact same way, and I stand on that. Do not tell me that anybody is above you. Do not settle for anybody being above you in this life, and don't let them make you feel like you are less than, because you're not. You're literally two human beings. That's it. Here's the thing. 100 years ago, when there was segregation and oppression, you probably couldn't have acted like that. Again, we have revolutionized past that point. You do not have to settle for someone belittling you in any capacity at all, for whatever it is, for your gender, for your race, for your ethnicity, for your size, for your beauty, for the type of job you have, anything. If someone's treating you like shit and not being respectful, bye. It's as simple as that. Being in the relationship that I'm in now, the mutual respect that we have for each other is, I think, so beautiful. It calms my soul, and it has healed me from a lot of past traumatic experiences where I have been yelled at, like diminished, talked down to, verbally put down. I've been shamed, all of these things. And I just thought that that was normal. I'm like, okay, well, this person's frustrated. They're going to talk down to me. Maybe I did something. No, I don't care what you did. You don't deserve to be spoken to like that, especially if it's an everyday thing. If you forget to do one simple task or there's a little bit of an argument happening, it still does not give that person the right to scream at you and to disrespect you and to name call, to body shame, to make fun of you, to question your intelligence. That is dehumanizing when somebody does that. And that is so absolutely debilitating, and that is hurtful to your soul, and it really messes with your mind. And I think that is so detrimental to human beings in general when the person that you think that you love is screaming at you, is talking down to you, is belittling you. That is so, you're already so vulnerable being in a relationship. You're opening up to this person. You're giving them everything that you have, and then they're going to twist things, and they're going to make your insecurities use those against you. They're going to use things that you've said in an intimate, private situation or scenario against you. They're going to scream at you. Oh, it honestly makes my stomach hurt because, again, I've witnessed it. I've been in the middle of that. So I just don't settle for disrespect anymore. And that is something actually that I apply to any area of my life. If I have a patient who's being nasty to me, if I have a coworker who's being nasty to me, if I have a person who bumps into me on the street and is being disrespectful, I don't put up with that. You are not above me in any way, shape, or form. We are here. I'm not above you either, but you're not going to scream at me because you're the CEO of some company and you have somewhere to be. You want to cut the line at the airport because you think you're better than everybody. No, hey, get in line, pal. Like, we're all here doing the same exact shit. You do not get this kind of rite of passage because you're the CEO of this big company. I don't give a fuck. I say again, we are two humans on a rotating rock in space. I don't care. I just don't care. I will never accept that. I will never understand. Like, when I was a waitress in a restaurant for a long time, if we had the owner come in, we'd get a call And our manager would come down and be like, okay, the owner is on the way. He's going to come in. We have to make sure we sit him at a perfect booth, blah, blah, blah. And me as a little sassy 16-year-old hostess, I'm like, we're going to sit him wherever we sit him. And I don't give a shit. Like, I will not be opening the door and fanning him and greeting him with a smile. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing I do for every other customer because I don't give a shit. What superiority complex do you think that you have that you have to be treated in a God form? And there was no hate against the owner of my restaurant. It's just like, I don't care. We would have customers come in all the time who were VIP customers because they knew the owner, or they were, you know, a local doctor or a local physician or a local college professor. Oh, sorry, looking for a fuck to give because I can't find one. Like, I don't care. I will treat you with respect. I will be nice. I will be kind. I have no reason to outright be an asshole to you, but I'm not putting you on a pedestal because why the hell would I do that? Like, oh, you're the CEO of a company? Oh my God, let me just get my gold carpet out. No, like, you're literally just a person to me. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, but like, that's how life is. And I'm going to treat you the exact same way I would treat anybody else. But also, if you're going to disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you right back. Okay? I don't play that game. You know what you're doing. You know that you're an adult speaking to somebody this way, or belittling them, or you're using a tone or whatever, being condescending. I'll give that right back. I'm at that point in my life where I will give it right back and I don't care. So for that, respect is so important. It is mutual. It goes both ways. I have no reason to scream at my boyfriend. I don't, because I calmly communicate with him. First of all, I've never had a reason to scream at him anyways, because he's a sweet baby angel and I love him. But like, I've never had a reason to scream. Even if we're frustrated, like even when we were moving, when he was moving cross country from Kansas City to North Carolina, moving is stressful. It's aggravating. It's heavy. Your back hurts. You're tired. You make 5,000 trips and you still have 5,000 more to go. And there's so much to do. And there's so much to... Packing is stressful. Not once did that man raise his voice at me. Not once did he get frustrated. Not once did he curse. Not once did he huff and puff under his breath. Not once did he make any remark that made me feel any kind of way. And that is exactly how it should be. If he has a problem, he needs to talk to me about it. If I have a problem, I need to talk to him about it. I don't need to huff and puff. I don't need to whisper under my breath. I don't need to make a big scene. I don't need to yell. I need to communicate, and I need to be respectful to that person. Even if he started yelling at me, which again he wouldn't, but even if he started yelling at me, I'd be like, hold on, let's talk about this for a second, because I'm not going to scream back. That's not going to get anywhere. Fighting fire with fire is appropriate at certain times, but screaming matches get nowhere. I'll give you that. If he were to start screaming at me, I'd be like, first of all, fix your tone. Let's figure this out and talk like two people, because what you're not going to do is you're not going to scream at me. That's not going to get us anywhere, and that's just going to piss me off. And also, you will not disrespect me like that. I just don't take it. I'm at this point in my life where I just don't fucking deal with that. And I don't think anybody should. And I think particularly as women, we unfortunately put up with it. We are told to be quiet, to be softer, to listen, to just shake our heads yes, to, be, okay with our male bosses dominating us or saying mean things to us or belittling us or putting us in. Absolutely not. I think it's time that we stand up for ourselves, and as hard as it can be and as scary as it can be, I think that is something that women especially need to work on, is standing your ground and not letting people walk all over you. And that goes so much so for a relationship as well. Like if you have a boyfriend, again, I'm talking from experience, heterosexual relationship, girl and guy, and talking from a heterosexual relationship, if someone is screaming at you, verbally abusive, condescending, mean, if they're belittling you, first of all, it's not going to ever stop. Unless y'all go to therapy and really work through it, it will never stop. And if they're doing it early on in the early dating stages, they will continue to do it. And I don't care if you think like, oh, they're having a bad day. Okay, they've been doing it for 4 months. Like, that's not a bad day. That is their personality. You do not have to put up with that. There is someone out there who will actually respect you and treat you with kindness and not belittle you and not be condescending and not put you down. Like, I promise you that. And if they have their own demons that they have to fight and they have not taken care of that, again, they're an adult, they haven't been in therapy, that's not on you to emotionally babysit them and wait for you to earn their respect. Respect is mutual. If you're not giving me respect, I will absolutely not respect you in return. I don't care if you're my elder and you're like, I'm your elder and you have to respect me. Hey, if you're being an asshole to me, guess what? Hi, nice to meet you. I'm an asshole as well. It doesn't work like that just because you think you're older than me. I don't care. I don't care who it is. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I don't care who it is. Respect is a mutual thing, and it needs to be widely respected, and people need to stand up for themselves wholeheartedly. I believe that. Another relationship, non-negotiable for me, and this is very applicable to dating as well. So for any of my single friends out there who are listening and you're like struggling in the dating scene because it is a dumpster fire, listen to me on this one, because I'm going to say this with my whole chest, okay? Not only when you're in a relationship, but I wholeheartedly believe when you are in the dating process, again, everything boils down to communication, but this I feel very strongly as well, is the, how should I say this? Like the depth at which your conversations have. Like what are you actually talking about? I don't want to waste my time, period, but I don't want to waste my time with somebody who's not giving me anything to work with either. So I feel like a relationship non-negotiable for me is, how do I want to word that? I feel like I want to word it as like being slightly blunt or like getting to the point. I don't know how I want to word it, but let me explain. I did this when I was in the dating scene. I did this very early on with my boyfriend, Chris. I'm a very no bullshit person, or at least I've become that. I definitely have not always been that way. I used to be very insecure, a lot more like, if I had a podcast 10 years ago, like it'd be totally different, but I cut to the chase because here's the thing. And this is just what works for me. And I've given this advice to my friends and like, I swear by it. You don't want to waste your time when you're on a dating app. So guess what I'm not going to do on a dating app? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's the best place you've ever traveled? Cut the shit, save your time, ask the hard-hitting questions and see who stays. And if that scares them off, then good riddance. That means that they're not for you anyways. Relationships can be scary. Dating can be scary. I get that some people start dating and marriage is not their goal. Maybe they just want to date, and that's fine. I don't think you have to go into every single date thinking, am I going to marry this person? But if marriage is potentially on your agenda or any kind of longevity in a relationship, I don't think it's weird to ask these questions. But ask the hard-hitting questions. Be uncomfortable. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. How about that? Is my relationship non-negotiable is be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So that means have the uncomfortable conversations. Talk about things that are a little bit taboo. Ask the hard-hitting questions. Here's the thing. Again, if you are intimate in any way with this person, if you are sleeping in the same bed as this person, if you are swapping saliva with this person, okay, yeah, that's intimate. That's closeness. That you're allowed to talk about those things. Like, you should be asking difficult questions because, again, life is difficult. It's not just what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite vacation you've ever taken with your family? When I was in the dating scene, I was like, what's your credit score? What's your credit card debt? Where'd you go to school? Any criminal record history? Any STDs? Like, I was asking hard-hitting questions because these are things that are important to me and things that I need to know. I don't give a shit what your favorite color is. I don't care what your favorite pizza topping is. I need to know the value of the person that I'm dating. I need to know about you a little bit more. I need to know that if we've become a couple, if we're in a relationship, or if this goes anywhere, I need to know like what I'm getting myself into. Do you have childhood trauma? How's your relationship with your mother? Do you have any siblings? I will ask the uncomfortable questions. And again, if that scares somebody off, I do not care. I don't care if that scares you off. I don't care if that's off-putting. I don't care if you think that's clingy or moving too fast or weird. Like, these matter to me. They're important. I'm not wasting my time on your favorite color and your favorite this and your this is like the potential to have you in my life for a significant amount of time. This is two human beings meshing together at some capacity, whether you're together a month or 10 years. I want to know these things very early on, because here's the thing. If you date somebody and you have very surface level conversation, favorite animals, favorite colors, favorite vacation, dream car, dream this, you're not getting anywhere. That's good to know. And I think those are good filler things to know about a potential partner or your actual partner. But you need to know the stuff that actually matters. Because if you start dating this person, you need to know if they have scary credit card debt and bad spending habits. When you're dating somebody, you need to know if they have a criminal history. If you start dating somebody, you need to know what their family dynamic is like, because you're somehow going to be involved in that. When you potentially start dating, you need to know if they have an ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, ex-significant other that you need to look out for, because they actually might stalk you and kill you. Like, these are important things that you need to know, like, before you actually get involved with somebody. And I will never understand how people start dating over very, very basic, bare bones questions. Like, I asked Chris very hard-hitting questions. We talked politics. We talked stance on abortion. We talked stance on children, on marriage. We talked credit scores. We talked debt. Like, I was very much like, hey, these are things that are important to me and I just want to know them. And it doesn't mean if your credit score is a certain thing, I'm cutting you off. It just means like, again, we're two adults. We're going to be in this together. I want to know these things about you. I could give a fuck what your favorite color is. That doesn't help me figure out the compatibility and how things are going to work for us in the future. And that's just something that I think so many people are uncomfortable with. It's like, oh, I don't want to ask that. That's too personal. I don't want to ask, how much money they make a year. And again, I'm not saying like someone's income should be a make or break on dating them. That's obviously not what this is, but those things matter. If you're going to live together, you probably should talk finances and income and like things like that. It goes so much more than just basic questions. Because again, dating is such a big responsibility. Being in a relationship is a big responsibility. And I really feel that people don't dive into it deep enough. Communication, shocker. And therefore things don't go well. Because if you're dating for 6 months and all you know is their favorite color and their favorite food and their sister's name, that's 6 months that have been put into something that you realize, I don't really know this person at all. I don't know their relationship with their parents. I don't know what their childhood was like. And if you think that's TMI, if you think that's being too much or moving too fast, next, bye. I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. It's not weird for me to want to know that about you, because here's the thing, you as an adult you are a result of all the things that have happened to you in your life, whether you choose to, have them as part of your life or you've become stronger because of them. Your childhood trauma has put you where you are today, for the good, bad, or the ugly. The decisions you've made with a credit card, with an ex, with college, with a car, with a drinking and driving, all of the decisions you've made have put you where you are now. Again, whether you've grown from them, you've learned from them, or you still are with them, it's part of who you are, and I need to know that. Knowing your favorite pizza topping doesn't really help me in the dating pool. I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not going to judge you for it because I got shit too. But those are relationship non-negotiables, is being comfortable with the uncomfortable, asking those questions. And here's my other hot take. If you're going to have sex, if you're going to be an adult, if you're going to be intimate in any capacity, and I'm sorry if this is uncomfortable, but it's real life, you need to set boundaries and talk and be comfortable with those with the conversations. Like, if you're nervous to talk about sex with your partner, maybe you shouldn't be having sex. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't talk about sex? Oh my God, orgasm. Scary word. Oh my God. Like, if you're not comfortable talking about that, you probably shouldn't be having sex. If your significant other is grossed out by the fact that you have a period and you wear a tampon or you use a menstrual cup, they're probably not emotionally mature enough. That's like weird, right? Like, your significant other can't fathom that you have a natural cycle that occurs once a month. That's weird for them, and you're having sex with them. Make it make sense. Like, I've never understood that. Guys that are like, periods gross me out, but yet they'll have sex with a woman who has a vagina. Like, I don't understand that. It all comes back to communication. But again, some of those conversations are uncomfortable. Sex is a weird thing to talk about. There are a lot of uncomfortable discussions, but they need to be discussed, because if you don't talk about them, you'll never get an answer. You may always wonder, and you might not find out until it's too late. Okay? Same reason that if you're having sex, you need to ask the person that you're about to sleep with when the last time they were STD tested. That is not taboo. That should be a normal. Okay? You do not have to judge the person. There are protective measures to take if somebody does have an STD. Also, STDs are very treatable. If that's a thing, get it taken care of. You're an adult, go get a blood test, go get a saliva test, figure it out, and come back. Like, I'm not just about to have sex with a random person if you haven't been tested. Hey, because I care about my health. Hey, because I'm a responsible adult. And I'm comfortable with the uncomfortable. And again, if you are mature enough, and if you are making the conscious decision to have sex, which is quite literally the most vulnerable, intimate thing you can do, then you can partake in uncomfortable conversations. Okay? Drives me crazy. Don't tell me you're having sex and then say you're not talking about it. What? Oh, me and my boyfriend have sex, but he's so grossed out by my period. Nobody said he has to like your period, but he needs to grow the fuck up. So annoying. I can't. I really, really can't. Clearly, this is something I could talk about for a long time, but I want to give you my last thought on a relationship non-negotiable. But it would just be someone meeting your needs, as simply as that. And this whole episode might sound like a wash. It might be like, duh, like all of these are bars in hell. The standards are low, like no shit. But again, you would be shocked. I have been in situations personally where I in the past have settled for less, or I've seen my friends, or I've seen adults, or my parents friends, or whoever. Like I've been in situations where I'm like, you're just going to let them scream at you like that? Like that's crazy. So again, these are just things I've thought of. They've come to mind. And I don't settle for anything less. And I'm so grateful that my partner and we are just really compatible. And we've talked through a lot of this stuff and all of those wonderful things. But another relationship non-negotiable is having your needs met in whatever that means. That is a non-negotiable. If your partner is not meeting your needs, then that's not a good partner. And I'm not saying that your partner has to like buy you diamonds and flowers and cards every day of the week, but like whatever that means, if that means a love language, if that means supporting you, if that means showing up for you, whatever it means to meet your needs, they need to be doing that. Or there needs to be some kind of compromise or discussion or something so that they can meet your needs. Because the thing about a relationship is it's give and take. You're supposed to help each other out and provide support and love and give each other the love language that you deserve and make each other feel wanted or loved or seen or heard or supported. And if you're not doing that and if it's not reciprocal, that relationship is destined to fail, or someone is destined to be unhappy or upset or just not in a good place. And that could potentially lead to what? A breakup, to cheating, to infidelity, like whatever it is. And I think it's just so important that the needs being met in a relationship, having your needs met in a relationship is something that is just non-negotiable, because whatever it is, you tell them very early on. Again, conversation I have with my boyfriend, like we talked about love languages very early on. Like, what is something that you feel, how can I make you feel loved and supported in this relationship? Physical touch, quality time, acts of service, like whatever it is, you need to establish that very early on, because if they don't do that for you, then you might not feel that the love is being reciprocated or that your needs are being met in any kind of way. Are you somebody that likes to just randomly get a card or randomly get flowers once in a while, or just take 5 minutes a day and just sit and chat with the other person? Like, establishing those boundaries and making sure your needs are being met is just going to go so far in a relationship. And it's really sad to see relationships that aren't thriving because the needs are not being met, either mutually or it's very one-sided and one person is doing all the work, all the effort, all the planning of the dates, taking care of everything, the house, the kids, the this, and the other person's just not doing anything, or they're giving very little effort. I think is why I feel so strongly that it's a non-negotiable, because what is a relationship other than this like wonderful way to spend your time and your energy and this soul bonding between two people? You should be happy. You should be excited to be in that relationship. You should be excited for how they treat you or how they show you off or how they care for you or how they show love to you. So if someone is not doing that to you, if you have needs that aren't being met, of course, realistic, like you don't have to make the most ungodly requests of all time, but your basic needs, like, are you feeling taken care of or supported or loved? If that is not being done, even especially after a conversation or two, then that's something I think needs to be like reevaluated pretty quickly, because I think needs and wants and desires are so important in relationships. And again, it all comes back from communication, but it's just, it needs to be a priority in a relationship, or I think that relationship is truly destined to fail. And again, that goes in any part of the relationship, whether it comes down to your needs in the bedroom, or your needs in terms of household chores, or your needs in support when life gets hard, or when the kids become unbearable, or when your parents come to visit, or whatever it is, or a really hard month or an anniversary that's really difficult. Expressing the needs that you have and the way that you need to be cared for, having to express that and letting your significant other reciprocate that is, I think, of God tier importance, truly. I hate to be that person that I'm in a relationship now, I feel like I want to give relationship advice, but I also kind of feel like the person who, because I'm in a relationship, I want to give advice. I just think because being single for so long and being sad and really thinking that a lot of men sucked and the bar was in hell. Like I really didn't think I would luck out with someone like Chris, who I'm with. And it just goes to show that there really are people out there that care about you and want you to have the best and will treat you with the utmost respect and love and loyalty. And they will see you as the only important thing in their life and treat you like such, and not in any way put you down or degrade you or make you feel bad about yourself. And again, all those qualities I just said, those are not healthy pieces of relationship anyways. Like you should absolutely be with someone who is treating you equally and being respectful and being kind to your friends or kind to your parents. Like it just is really sad for me to see so many relationships where that's just not being done, and people settle for that. They settle for verbal abuse and they settle for doing 100% of the caseload, and their significant other doesn't help, or their significant other is emotionally unavailable. And I know it goes a lot deeper than that. It's not just like if someone's being verbally or physically abused, you can just be like, hey, I don't want this anymore, and walk out. Like obviously, like those are very traumatic, difficult circumstances, and there's a lot more to it. It's not just like easy to just get out of it. But I just wish more people saw the good in themselves, and they knew their self-worth, and they knew that they deserved a lot better in a relationship, and that they were deserving of so much more than whatever bullshit that they've been dealing with. I feel sorry. I really feel sorry for people that are in terrible relationships because they feel that they have to settle, or they would rather be in a terrible relationship and settle for a terrible person because they'd rather be in a relationship than just be lonely. Like it is so sad. I hate to see people settle for terrible relationships because they'd rather just be in a relationship than be single. They'd rather suffer in a relationship than just be single. Like that is so sad to me. There is no terrible relationship that you could put me in that I would rather be in than just being single and alone. Like it's just not worth it to me. You don't need to settle. You don't need to let your significant other be terrible to you. Life can be hard. Work can be hard. Work can be stressful. Finances can be stressful. Children, an income, a roof over your head. Life is hard. Life is stressful. All of these things. But that does not give your partner or you the right to be a nasty, awful human being to somebody else. You need to learn how to cope with your emotions. You need to figure out, how am I going to navigate life when it gets hard? And how am I going to not take this out on my partner? My bad day at work does not mean I can come home and yell at my boyfriend. Some things are out of your control, and that does not give you the right to be a terrible human being. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people being awful to people because things don't work out for them and they just take it out on everybody else. Don't give me attitude and give me your negativity because you had a shit day at work. You got to deal with that. We can talk it out. Maybe I can help you. Maybe you can vent about your bad day at work, but you are not going to raise your voice at me because your boss is an asshole to you. That's out of my control. That's something that you got to fix at work. You got to take that to your boss. You got to work on something at work, but you are not going to come home and take it out on me because you had a bad day. I'm not going to tiptoe around you because it's something that happened in your life. That's different. We're in a relationship. We're in this together. We're working through this together. I'm getting hot now. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening. Don't settle. If you're single, be single. Like, I promise you, do not settle. If someone is not obsessed with you, if they're not willing to make you happy, if they're not willing to go above and beyond for you, and you don't feel the same about them, stay single. I promise it's not worth it to date a terrible person. You don't need that in your life. Don't waste your time with a terrible person. Only date people that actually value you for what you're worth, and they are going to treat you with the same kind of love and respect. I appreciate you guys each and every week. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Girl on the Internet podcast, okay? See you guys there, and I'll see you next week with a new episode.